Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me here today. If you found yourself here, there may be a message for your healing journey, soul's evolution, transformation, or simply information. So, why are narcissists so difficult to live with? Well, you know the difference of living with them versus just dating them, right? There's a major difference. And those of you that have suffered this traumatic event or events for time periods, you will know. And hopefully, you're at a safe place away from that, finding your healing, because it is imperative. Things never get better. Why? Because you can never read their minds. Well, some of us can, or you can read their energy, right? But if you've been duped, drugged, and under some kind of dark magic, well, things might be a little more difficult than when you first knew them or before you lived with them. So when they change their mind or they stew on something, they go into a violent rage. These are kind of crazy things to have to deal with. It's trauma and or trauma bonding. Some of them may have taken some really good government training to make sure they can really screw you over. Yes, they're highly skilled at traumatic events using other things such as music and twisted events and words. Word salad is what they call it. I call it bullshit. It's all bullshit. Reverse psychology, well, maybe some of us are good at that as well. But on the other hand, this is a high level of manipulation, control, conjuring up the worst bullshit nightmare you can ever have in your life. So when they go cold and they sit on their phone, which they always have numerous, little do you know, not just bat phones that are all over their cars, every vehicle. There's one sparkly thing, right? Because that's the only thing, because they can open up that phone and show that little person whoever they're fun playing with there, pay for pleasure, whatever it is, curbside service or roadside service, whatever it is, right? So these are all things that you need to know. If somebody has more than one phone, or maybe they allow you to see their phone because they've erased it, and maybe they just delete everything else. And people in their phone are under an alias, even their mother, right? Or maybe they just show you what you need to. That's their second phone, by the way. Or maybe it's their third or fourth. You never know. So don't expect too much from these clowns. They never communicate well. They're not effective communicators. They definitely are not somebody who is well versed in emotions and or type of relationships that will last forever. They don't walk the line and they're definitely not monogamous. So you're better off being alone and finding your safe and sacred space to heal sooner than later, right? Because when you learn a few things about this abuse, because it is abuse, you will know the difference. If you've ever witnessed their rage, punching holes in walls, or even pulling out guns and talking crazy shit, how you can unalive yourself and which way to do it. Or they dogs, animals, they cut claws off of birds that are not supposed to be touched, and then they want to go ahead and have them, stuffed and put on their wall, literally. That's a problem, right? These are sacred animals. Or maybe they've done some weird shit to your own animals, sadistic shit that you've witnessed. No, these aren't anything remotely close to what you want to call a safe and sacred relationship. Their projection of shame and guilt onto you, maybe it's a good thing because then you can see the realness of them. They're up all night doing weird shit. Yes. Maybe they have some kind of roadside service when you're sleeping or taking care of the kids, right? Surely we put up with their crappy bullshit for long enough and their behavior. So you are right to say no to this and yes to yourself. Make sure you can get away safely. You will need an order of protection and don't just go for something minimal. They don't like it. Okay. They don't like no, they don't like boundaries, and they will surely harass you, even though there is one in place. Move counties or somewhere where you can be safe. Let everybody know and have a copy of all the orders so you have one handy if you need to put it up at the yoga place or the gym, post it. Whether you have security at your work, you have them in your car, you have them in all your vehicles, in every drawer, whatever it takes. Have it on the fridge, and even make sure grandma has one. And list everybody that you need to protect: your children, your animals, and you can put anything in there, daycare, whatever it is. to keep yourself safe, right? Because they stop at nothing, literally nothing. And even then, when the order is in place, and if they're dark, they'll be doing spells on you all the time. Dark magic, voodoo, hoodoo, witchcraft, because who can see that under the moon or in their own home, right? So just be mindful. These crazy people do a lot of bullshit behind the scenes. So if you are stuck and you're working a full time job, taking care of the household, cleaning up their mess 24/7, being too codependent and then getting abused on the top of it, well, they have to run out and get milk or have to run out and go do all these other things, have to go to work, got to go check in, do something. No, no, not at all. That's not what they're doing. The other trick they do is they'll go to their phone and they'll, take it off, whatever. So if you're sharing locations, go to your settings. You can actually secure your location for an hour or two, and then they'll say it was reception or whatever it is. You might have bought into that shit too, or maybe you were just too busy to take care of the household, doing everything perfectly because their shit show was not. So they make you go down to the couch when they come home with all their phones, and you're doing all the work at home because they're busy doing other things. So when you fall asleep, maybe knuckles dragging, they have other things they have going on. Or maybe they're sadistic, or maybe they're conjuring up the next spell, or maybe they're looking at a lot of porn. I mean, a lot of people do. I'm just saying, it's not in a good way. It really isn't, because they do a lot of crazy things under the sun. So if you're being triangulated and you are tossed around as a third party, fuck it. You know what I say? Walk. The minute they look at you funny or the incline of abuse occurs, no, you run. That's their problem, and you run. You take care of you, and nobody deserves to be put in a corner and come second or 10th best. Absolutely not. It's unacceptable behavior, and I don't care who it is or what happened. If somebody doesn't put you first and they can't be an adult to get out of that relationship before they jump into 10 others, screw it. You take care of you because you actually matter. And somebody will love you unconditionally, no wavering, and walk the damn line every day, and every day, 24/7, 365. They're going to walk the line for you. The deal is you do the same. No wavering. Old school it. If it doesn't work out, then just say so. Be adults. If you can have sex with somebody, you should be able to talk to them about stuff, right? And certainly teenagers are different than somebody in their 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s. But whatever your expectation is of yourself, make sure it's equally yoked. And you decide what's right and what's abusive and what's not okay. Somebody can't touch you if you said no. If they do, if you're violated, then that's a problem. And answer the questions that anybody asked you honestly. And don't be afraid to tell the truth, because the truth shall set you free, and these bastards will be held accountable for their actions. Just make sure you take care of you. Self care is sacred. It's not at all selfish, which people tell you all the time. And don't worry, you're not too sensitive. You're actually being sacred. Sacred with you, sacred with your energy, and that's only to be shared with somebody who desires you and treats you with respect. Yes, treat yourself with respect, and somebody else will do the same. And if they don't like it, that's just too damn bad. Goodbye. So, for today, make sure you be careful out there. Be careful who you trust, or maybe you're unaware of who you're with. Start asking around. Ask the people that matter, that can give you some good recommendations and maybe a safe and sacred person to be with. Now, if you're too vulnerable to be in a relationship, maybe you need to do some healing first. It's okay to be alone and do your healing. You'll find a new soul tribe that actually likes you as you grow. So just remember to take care of you. Self care is sacred, not selfish. And so it is. Namaste.